Hi there. All right. So, look, this is going to be a rickety operation here. So, all right, this is a Black opinionated woman, also known as a Bo. I want to thank you for joining in. So, look, I am doing my best here. Before I get started, let me just say this is a whole situation going on. I'm trying to run this through my iPad that is really just running off of a hotspot from my phone. So I don't know what the quality of this video is going to look like. And also, for some reason, I just feel like this makes me look like I have a mustache. So I don't know. I'm in my feelings. But anyway, welcome, welcome, welcome. Anyone who's listening to this video. So look, I talk about to middle age. So we're going to circle back to some Black culture stuff today. All right. So look, let me go ahead. I'm running through my iPad so I can set this up differently. If you joined in, this is what you joined in on. Look at that. Isn't she cute? This is for the awkward people out there in these streets, okay? The awkward people out there in these streets. Now, I couldn't just put it off to the side because I don't know how to do it the way, I would do it from my computer versus when I'm on an iPad. Some of the options change is different. Oh my goodness, it's hot. Like, oh my goodness. All right. So look, I have my windows down, which is probably a mistake, but it gives me some more room. All right, so we're going to talk today. Okay, let me get my situation set up. Is there room for the awkward? Now, I know I've mentioned multiple times before that there's not enough content out there for middle-aged women. But not only that, now when I say the culture, I'm talking specifically Black culture. I like to lend a level of specificity. There's plenty of content out there for people who don't look like me. But what I noticed is that there are two things. One, there's not enough people who look like me that are middle-aged. And number two, much of the content from the culture is rooted in ding dongery. It's shenanigans. Okay, let me find my situation. Okay, so anyway, since I noticed that there's not enough room for the regular woman, the awkward person, the middle-aged person. Much of what I see in the culture, like I said, we call the culture, Black culture, the culture, because we think we are like the center of everything. I mean, I know I'm self-centered. But so yeah, the culture doesn't put enough out there. Now, let me go back to this for a second because there's a reason why I chose that particular situation. Let me wait. Where do I have it saved? Take a look at this for a second. I mean, I know that was. Oh, let me take off this situation. Hold on a second. How do I do this? I'm on my iPad. Y'all gonna have to cut me some slack. Come off. Okay. Now the reason why I put that on there is because um yeah, you're not going to see too many people who look like this out here. Many of the people who look like this out here, well, let me rephrase that. Most of the people that you see out here, they actually have their faces like beat. I'm talking about their eyebrows are like, okay, so we're going to start with that. But you're not going to see too many people who are like regular like me. Just regular old regular, some like regular people. Now, it doesn't mean that I can't like turn up, but I don't want to turn up. I just want to be my regular self. Now, this is what regular looks like at middle age. I'm sitting in my car while I watch my son. Well, I'm supposedly watching him practice, but I'm not. I'm really just talking to you. But we don't make room in the culture for the regular person. Okay. See, the person in our culture that's out here on these platforms is cussing everyone out. That's the men and the women arguing over non productive things. We're out here thoughting and hoeing and all of these things. We're talking down to each other. But what we don't have is enough people, bam, looking like this, the regular dagulars. Now, I chose that one for a reason because I was sitting there at work. I was taking a break from something I was doing. And I always constantly talk to you, whoever's paying attention, about there's not enough representation. So I just happened to be talking with my coworkers who don't look like me. And we got into this whole long discussion about Star Trek. Now, for those of you who don't know me, I was such a big Star Trek fan. I was really into like the Next Generation. Let me tell you, when I say I was into it, you know that little thing. We go back to this. You see that little badge to the left, the little gold badge. I had one of those. That little thing. I was like, like so and so to the bridge. I was a, I was a nerd. I was an all the way nerd. I was like, yeah. I even had the ship and everything, the little passport and the whole 9 yards. I was one of those like little geeky people back in the day when Star Trek: The Next Generation would come on. I would literally mouth it. Space. Let me tell you, I knew the whole thing. Space, the final frontier. These are the voyages of the Starship Enterprise. Its continuing mission to explore strange new worlds, to seek out new life, new civilizations, to boldly go where no one has gone before, something along those lines. It's been a while. Now, I say this because much of the content that we have out here is it's salacious, and I guess sex and anything salacious sells. But we don't have enough room for the regular person to talk about, hey, like, you want to get out here and geek out on some Star Trek stuff? So when I'm sitting here having this conversation with my coworkers and they're like putting me on to some stuff that I didn't know, I'm like literally learning that they have like Star Trek wine. Now, look, I've been caught up trying to raise these children, but like, I was like, I need to get myself a couple of new T-shirts and some other things, right? Because I haven't been as invested. I've fallen behind on all kinds of stuff. What I'm getting at is now this isn't really about Star Trek, but it was like what was most current in the forefront of my was it frontal lobe, whatever that is, because I don't see enough regular people out here talking about some regular stuff. All right. So I don't see enough people who look like me. Now, I just happen to be into, science fiction and that type of thing. Oh, wait, there's comments. I'm so sorry. Oh, Lord. I am not bringing some of these retarded comments that you put up here. I'll just put that one up there. I'll put that up here. So, look, this is why I say there's no room in the culture. Because we get comments like this. I know who this guy is. He's trolling me. I'm gonna hit you up when I'm done. He is a mess. But what I'm saying is, there's not enough room in the culture for regular people to be out here and to express the things they like. It's like if you don't fit this mold, if you don't fit the archetype of what a black man should be or what a black woman should be, right? You're gonna get torn down. There's a lot of people who are going to hee-haw that. Like, you're going to get torn down. There's no room for the regular person who just wants to show you how they are doing arts and crafts or how they want to garden. I've seen some black people doing the gardening thing. I like to look at stuff like that. I started to film myself doing gardening stuff, but I figured that would be too much on this channel. The point I'm making is the only thing that seems to really be popping and locking is if we are talking about each other like we're trash, fighting and whoring out here. Like we've got to argue with each other. We don't do anything productive. I would love to see more black people. I'm sure there's some out there, but I would love to see more black people or middle-aged people across all races, but particularly black people doing more gardening from inside their home, showing people who live in austere environments like these are the solutions. Now check this out. Just working with our are people who are living in environments where they don't have much room. Maybe you're in the projects, maybe you're in the hood, but teaching them how to grow food from inside their house. Now, this is just something that I was just thinking about. Like that would be extremely productive, introducing more fruits and vegetables. We talk about how like we have all these food deserts, right? But just providing options, just providing people with options that they are in control of, but maybe they just are not realizing or exposed to that. Instead, we want to get on here and just talk about the community or whatever and everything that's wrong instead of offering up solutions. And now I know there are people out there who are great at gardening and all these other things. But I'm just sitting there thinking, like, what if we had somebody who was a regular person who didn't get on here, lips popping and locking? I mean, I could do that, right? Eyebrows not like this, like, like all the way on, contoured so much where you can see the stripe down the face, where you look like the lion, the cowardly lion from the Wizard of Oz. If I only had a brain. Like, these are the kind of conversations we should be having. I just use that as one example. Just having conversations, the sci-fi conversations, to get young people interested in STEM fields, exploring things, like getting them to stretch their mind. It doesn't mean they have to be totally into that, but you never know. Once you start getting into science fiction or whatever, maybe some of these young minds might be interested in the graphics for something, and maybe they would want to create. Maybe the graphics for a video game, maybe it would be for a comic book or covers of books or whatever it is, for a website, any of those things. But just normalizing that, hey, have you considered, you know, I'm saying Star Trek, but I liked X-Men and some of the Marvel stuff, all good stuff. What I'm getting at is we don't have productive conversations. We haven't normalized the awkward person, the regular old regular person out here in these streets. Look at that. Y'all know that was a good thumbnail. I had fun making it. So, getting back to what I'm saying, like, what you need to see are more people who are like me. I'm a little bit of a mess right now. For some reason, it looks like I have like a mustache. You can see my extra gobble gobble going on. This is the situation. Um, but you want to see somebody who's like a little bit of a mess, but maybe not, but still a diva. Yes, got my cute little ponytail going on in the back with my 1980s hairstyle up front. What I'm saying to you is, if we had more people out here, have more representation, get the nerdy person out here who's talking. Get the person who's into plant life. You never know. Maybe they'll be a botanist. Maybe they'll graft a new type of apple or whatever. But you get more Black people out here on here having more productive conversations. And now you're teaching the young person who's living in an apartment or whatever, like how to grow a plant, how to grow fruits, vegetables, or whatever. But in the process, they're learning about grafting. Next thing you know, maybe they will choose to say, you know what, I'm interested in this. Maybe I do want to study something like this. Maybe I do want to go to college and study biology or whatever. That could lead to anything. But instead, we would rather have a whole bunch of channels talking about how Black men and Black women ain't this. We want to talk about Will and Jada all day. We want to talk about Kanye. That's what we want to talk about. We want to talk about the state of the community, but we don't offer up solutions. I feel if we had more people who were good at gardening, or I don't know why this is in my brain, I guess because I'm in the whole gardening phase, but like more people who are gardening, or who say, like, this is how you can grow food inside your house out here, who look like you. And they're saying, you don't have to have a big plot of land. All you need is a windowsill, or maybe a growing light, or maybe, hey, why don't you, like, let's talk about some sci-fi stuff, and maybe you will be interested in drawing these pictures, or creating the magazines or the websites or the graphics for a game. That's the kind of stuff that we need to have. We need to have more representation. We need to have more middle-aged, wonderful women such as myself. Just go ahead and hit that subscribe button, because you guys know you like me. I'm super dope. But I'm like, that we don't normalize this. This is what we should be normalizing. Isn't that cute? Instead, we want to normalize thought, whoring. Now, when I say whoring, I'm talking about men too. We want to normalize disrespecting each other. And all we continue to do on both sides is continue to point the finger. And now all we want to do for weeks now, I guarantee you we will have a conversation again about Will Smith and Jada, Kanye, the weird guy who's like, I don't like Black women, then got knifed up by the white lady. Um, we don't have any normal conversations. What we need to see is normal people talking about normal family dysfunction. Like how I can't seem to like have a normal like morning when I get my kids out the house. Like why my kids were all having a meltdown, like they were like little werewolves. Like it was just like they were just losing it in the morning. Why none of my kids seem to be able to wear a matching pair of socks. It doesn't matter how many times I buy them matching socks. We don't want to have any of those conversations. What we need to see is more women out here who are okay with not being in a wig. Right now, I feel like, and now I'm getting on a Black woman for a second because I love you guys. I'm not here to drag Black women, but I do want to, call a thing a thing. At what point are we going to say it's okay that we don't have to be super made up like drag personnel? If you look at what the women look like, and these are beautiful women, but it's like makeup beautiful. I'm like, you're natural. I'm not saying we can't be in makeup. That's not what I'm saying. But everyone is constantly like, I don't know who I'm talking to, what I'm looking at. Like there's all these personas. I get it. I get it. I'm trying to like keep the light from my face. What is all this going on? Okay, I'm sorry. I have to hold this. Anyway, so getting back to my point, I don't feel like there's much room in the culture right now for this. Where's there room for this? Where is there room for the regular person who likes fashion per se, but it's like, you know what? So how do I go about drawing my own fashions? What software would I use for that? Or just the ingenuity of I don't know. I see people creating these small homes like that. For some reason, that's like really fascinating to me, watching people build these tiny little homes, or people going out in the woods and they're building like survival shelters or whatever. But I don't see black people doing that. All we want to do is have non-productive conversations. Now, let me tell you, this is a little bit of a setup, because I meant what I said about there's no room for the awkward person out here in the culture, it seems. But really, it was a way to try to tie in that we don't have enough representation and we have to stop engaging in these non-productive conversations. I'm going to get off of this shortly and see what's out here on YouTube. And I'm pretty sure in my timeline, I'm going to see something on Kanye and Kim, Will and Jada, I think he was from Nigeria, the guy that got stabbed up. Um, I'll probably see something on crypto. I do like watching some crypto stuff. Um, yeah, that's what we're going to talk about. And because I try to keep certain things out of my timeline, occasionally something will slip through where it'll be like, the black men think all black women are X, Y, and Z. Believe it or not, I don't get a whole lot of black women hate black men content. It doesn't make it into my feed, but for some reason, the black men hate black women content is out there. I don't want to hear it. You guys can all get together and just commiserate together and just be a self-licking ice cream cone, because you don't really serve anyone. You're not doing anything make it better. There are no solutions. You're a self-licking ice cream cone. Okay? You are the circle square. That's what you are. So I don't want to hear any of that stuff. We need more representation. We need more middle-aged women like me. I'm amazing in my own mind. I'm a phenomenon unto myself. I think the word is noumenon. I got to double check the definition for that. Noumenon. N-O-U. I don't even remember how to spell it. Noumenon. Anyway, that's pretty much it. I don't know if you guys have any comments or anything like that. Go ahead and put them in there. But what I do want to say is you need to go ahead and just like this, because you know you liked what I had to say. We need more representation. And this is the thing, for those of you who actually watch this video, all like one of you, I hope you take the time to create a channel. Create a channel. I don't knock people who do like celebrity gossip and stuff like that, because sometimes it is funny. But it would be nice to have a channel that's something else, because we need you out here. We need you. We need you to talk about, I don't know, alternatives to learning. Alternatives to learning mathematics. I don't know. Alternatives to like I said earlier, gardening. Maybe creating the new corn. I don't know, whatever that is. But we need you. Alternatives to losing weight. Alternatives to beauty. How to make our skin glow without painting it. I don't know. We need you. Okay. Go ahead and subscribe. The end.